All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. Um, we are in the middle of our Summer of Love poetry series, and this is one of the one-on-one intimate conversations that we've been having. And today we have the opportunity to speak with Karen Hoffman. So I wanted to welcome you and thank you, Karen, for joining in today and having conversation, the unedited and unscripted conversation. Welcome.
Oh, I'm at
Thanks.
my best unedited, so I appreciate you reaching out to me, and I'm excited to do this.
Cool. Cool. Um, you know that it's only been probably about a little less than a year that I've been geared more towards writing my practice into the writing field in efforts to learn a little bit more about it because uh, as a therapist, yoga therapist, realized how important it was in all of the plans that I put together, no matter what it is we're dealing with. Writing is part of the plan. So, Jen, right. So I remember you were one of the first people that actually spoke up and said to me, what did you say? Welcome to the world of rabbit holes or something like that.
Yep, that's what
So I'm
started me
gonna
back on this journey too, so yes, I love it.
So yeah, so what made you say yes to this conversation? And tell me a little bit about these rabbit holes.
Well, I've really been enjoying the online poetry community. We've been on several play shops together, and there's just so many different things out there, and it's really been an amazing thing over the last several years for me to connect with people like this. My husband's not a reader, right? He's not interested in that. He's a mechanically oriented car guy. You know what I mean? So me and we don't have a lot in common where that's concerned. I've loved writing all my life. I've loved reading all my life. And I was an English major in college. I dabbled with poetry in college, but not like some of the people that I've met. They really were more serious about poetry for a longer time. So I just really I got back into it purely by accident. I have a local teacher who's a meditation teacher, and he's just fabulous. And he sent out an email saying he was going to be a guest of Kelly Blazer's on an event that she hosts online. I don't know if you're familiar with her. If not, I would look her up. She's a pretty cool lady. Um, and on there, the first day I signed up for it, and I was listening to the first day, her opening session, she read a poem by none other than Rosemary Watola Tromer. It was called Temple. And I listened to it. I think I was listening to a recording because I believe I backed it up to listen to it again to catch the name of the poet and the title of the poem. And I immediately looked it up. I immediately Googled it, thus beginning my rabbit hole experience. Found Rosemary, found her 100 Falling Veils, her daily poems, and I subscribed to that. And just started finding other things just from that initial foray into the experience of the online poetry world. And it's just grown from there. From her, I believe she was on an I believe she had an event that was hosted by Phyllis Cole Dye, who I know you also know. I believe you're having a conversation with her this month too.
Yeah.
Um, and Phyllis, and I was like, well, let me see what Phyllis is about. so so I did that, and then slowly but surely, I just love that community. That's one small community where I've met a few people, and then you listen, and then you get that. I think you should start writing, Karen. My little voice told me to just start writing. So I did. Some of that was on the play shops and the different events that I attended online. I was prompted and invited via those methods by, during those events to write a few poems. I've got a notebook almost full right now. We just finished up oh gosh, what was Rose? We just finished up a play shop with Rosemary.
The
I can't,
big reframe
the
or something
the
that
big
was.
reframe. Yeah, you got it. Thank you. Your memory is better than mine.
Wow, it's
Um,
a pure
o-
pure luck there.
okay, you were luckier than me then. I couldn't remember, but I mean, it was wonderful. You were on there. So, just being able to kind of hear other people talk about their experience with a poem or their experiences writing poetry is just, it just really opens you up. I just really, I really love that. I love the conversations. I love being,
Yeah,
I don't, and I'm not shy. I don't mind putting my 2 cents in
yeah, me
when I
too.
do.
Hey, you get out of things what you put into them, really, quite
You
frankly.
do, you do. And I know, and that's my personality. And I know, and I try really hard not to do it. I go, don't say anything. Don't let somebody else talk. Let
I know
somebody else
you don't
talk.
want to take over.
Right, right, right.
I
And
feel that way too a lot. I'm like, oh my God, Jen, shut the heck up. Like,
if it isn't us, it's somebody else. I mean, it's just a natural thing. If people are talkers, they're gonna do it. So, and I happen to be one of those. But I also like to listen. I also like to hear what other people say. And it's fascinating to me how poetry, the same poem, can have two or three different people all read it a little differently, and it's all such a personal experience. No matter what the poet intends, the experience is just personal, and it's either, it can be negative, positive, whatever, that wherever you land on the scale when you read something. But I've just really enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed getting to read and hear a lot of favorite poets online. One thing I have always said is it is so amazing to be able to jot a note to a poet and have them reply on Substack or wherever. James Cruz,
I
Rosemary,
know.
Julia
I,
Fehrenbacher.
It is amazing
It's
these people that
so
we have
cool.
stumbled across. I mean, these are some very beautiful humans.
Oh, beyond
And
words.
and because I completely adore this online community too. First of all, you can't get any better than being right in your home, and being able to connect with everybody all over the world. But yes, to be in community with actually people that have a little depth to their thinking.
There's that
You,
too. Yeah. There's
you
that
know, I
who
mean,
are
it
actually
it
considerate and thinking about things in a
and
holistic
we
way.
obviously don't are not afraid of I've been calling it dancing with our emotions a little bit here, in this whole field. And I would say the more you practice, like Rosemary and Phyllis Goldie and James, etc., they have been practicing and do it a lot better, this dance with emotions,
Oh,
than I do. But I just love it because most people that I meet on the street don't try to do that. They don't try to
no,
do
it's
that.
a
They
it's a different
stimulate themselves to figure, to pay no attention to it.
I think it's definitely a mindset, and it's the type of people it's the type of people who do, like, I look in the mirror and I'm like, I could do better. Can I do better? I think I can do better. A lot of people don't do that. And I think that's very apparent in our world today. We can leave it at that. But that's
Yeah.
exactly what I like too. And I think that I would disagree. Like, however you're doing it, and this is one of the things I've loved about attending Rosemary's events. And I needed her message in more ways than one. And the one message she says is it doesn't have to be good. It has to be true. So whatever's in your heart and whatever the spirit, the muse, whatever you want to call it, whatever prompts you to write whatever you're writing, it's not wrong. And I love that concept. And I really, if she ever, if I don't she'll watch this, but if she does, Thank you, Miss Rosemary, because that's some of the best advice I've ever gotten in my life. I wouldn't have called myself a perfectionist ever. I mean, I like things to be right, but I'm not aiming for perfect. But good and right and true are three different things, right?
Mm.
So I think the fact that I need to listen to the truth in my own heart and mind is really just has been such an excellent lesson. And everybody in all the groups where we talk about these things, they're all that way. They've all either already learned that lesson or they're in the process of learning it, and everybody's in the where they are on their journey, right?
Yeah, like no real drama, and I love it. And no comparison really, or no
Mm-mm. Well,
no
it's like
ulterior
yoga.
motives. It's a beautiful space.
It's like yoga, right? You're not I mean, I go to a yoga class,
It is
trust
a
me,
lot like
I'm not
yoga.
judging. I can't judge myself based on what my neighbor can or can what my neighbor is able to do and I'm not able to do. I can't do the comparison. You can't judge yourself based on whatever anybody else is doing. And that's the other thing that's really beautiful about this. Like there's been times I can't remember, but it was one time Phyllis hosts a wonderful group on Thursday mornings. It's called the Poetry Pick Me Up. And if you're on there, you you know that every now and then someone will read a poem and everybody will be like, I didn't, somebody will be like, I didn't like that one because of whatever reason. Again, going back to it being personal for each person. So yeah, I mean, yesterday I brought up home to that group that I just happened to read. I happened to find it. It was an accident, again, a rabbit hole, and I just happened to find this poem, and it really spoke to me because the moment that that poet was capturing was very similar to an experience that I just had. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, and I related to it on a very, very personal level. And then we had, people had other reactions to it and different things spoke to different people in a different way. And that's one of the things I love to hear and see is that somehow, some way, a poet is going to touch people, you know, and that's and that and I like that feeling too of reading something and just saying, wow. There's times when I think speaking of writing to people, clearly, when I was in college and I was an English major in college, most of the people were dead, long gone. Romantic period poets and Shakespeare. Clearly, Shakespeare's not
Right,
no longer
right,
with.
right.
So being able to write a note of appreciation to somebody who does touch you, I think I wrote to James Cruz one time and said, sometimes I feel like you are in my head with what he sends out, and I believe he sends things out on Fridays. I haven't looked at the one today yet, but I've read some of his things and just said, dude, he's in my head. How does he know? How does he get it? How does he just get
And
me?
even his voice too. His voice is
Oh,
just
I would
mm,
love to have a recording of him just read me to sleep every night. He's just such a
he's a dream.
he is such a sweet man. He's just an
He is,
amazing
he's a
man.
dream. There, and
And
it is true to be in community with them is phenomenal.
mhm, mhm. The fun thing, and I don't know, and we were talking a lot about the community and reading and writing, and just I mentioned that I started getting back into writing, and you mentioned that earlier when we started. For me, that thing came up last summer. I believe Rosemary has a daily poem also on an app called the Ritual app, which is very nice. She reads the poem, she talks a little bit what it's about, and then she reads it twice, gives you an invitation at the end if you'd like to do your own writing or whatever. And that's really, I mean, I had sort of started, but then I started listening to that every morning. I'd sit out on my back porch. I had a little notebook with me, and I'd either go, oh, it would spark something, some reaction, and I would be able to write a little bit. And I did that daily um, for several months. And then I started reading some of Mark Nepo has a daily book. There's a book where it's a daily book. I can't remember the title of it. I'm so sorry.
The Book of Awakening.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Oh my
You're saving
gosh.
my bacon here quite a bit.
Oh.
It was beautiful, and I'd listen to Rosemary's poem, I'd read his daily, meditate I call it a meditation, I guess, a
Hmm.
daily
It
essay,
is.
whatever. Yeah, and I would get something would strike me, and something would resonate, and something would rise up and come out onto the paper, scrawling my little tiny handwriting in a little notebook. Um, in February this year, I had a stroke.
Mm,
Um, and that really took the wind out of my sails in more ways than one.
mm,
Um, I am extreme now. With that said, I will tell you, I am extremely fortunate. I was able to walk into the hospital. I was able to walk out when I left. I mean, I didn't lose, clearly, I didn't lose any speech capacities or anything like that. My body still feels weird. I still don't feel 100% right. But I hadn't been writing. I started doing the New York Times free daily puzzles, Wordle and all those, just to kind of get my brain back
mhm.
to being healthy and hopefully as close to 100% as it can get. So that was that was kind of like, I just didn't have it in me. I was not inspired to write, even if I read something on a daily basis. I get Phyllis's daily postings. I get Rosemary's daily post. I get James's weekly post. So I consume as much as I can, but I had really stopped the desire to output anything. Just really stopped, and it's only been in the last couple, maybe month, few weeks that I have picked a pen up and really done some more writing. And I think my next phase, and before the stroke, I was thinking, I really want to start. I have enough stuff where I could start kind of posting things every now and then on Substack or wherever.
Mhm.
And I'd like to do it. And I think that's my next hurdle because another thing that I've learned is that a lot of times people, like we were talking about earlier, you'll read something and I'll read something, and it may hit you one way, it hits me a different way, but it still makes people feel something. So if I could be part of that on a on that scale, that would be kind of cool. And if I just do it from I think that my goal right now would just be to do it for myself, to have the guts to post something for people to see. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't know. I just the idea appeals to me to try that. And like that's a
Oh,
next step in my, I don't want to say career as a writer, my journey in delving into this, like dipping my toes into the writing and
exploration. Yeah. Exploring.
exploration. I love that. Yeah, that's exactly what it
Yeah. I mean,
is.
because who knows? Yeah. And it totally is all explorative because it's not a straight, narrow path, such as accountant or something like that. This involves creativity and emotions and memory and all kinds of stuff. And
Right.
many more rabbit holes. You're right, because one thing links to another.
It
And
does.
for anybody that is watching, if I have missed reaching out to you or don't know about you, please let me know because I don't know everybody yet. And I'm like,
Where are you?
hey, I know they're good. I would like to invite everybody. Mm,
Well, there's a lot, and what's been really cool is that a lot of the people that I've met are actually published poets, authors, whatnot, like Gloria Heffernan. I just love Gloria's work. I have to tell you, I knew Gloria for a little while. I took a class from her, an online class that I was able to take. And I just so enjoyed her. And then I'm like, well, I also feel driven to support. As you can see, there's artwork on my walls. I feel driven to support artists in my small personal way. My husband and I we live in a town that has a lot of local music, a lot of local music. So we go and we enjoy that. I enjoy the artwork. that now, as you can see by the bookshelf behind me, I've been buying books of poetry. And that includes people like David White and Rosemary and James's anthologies. But I also, oh, Gloria has a book. And I have to tell you, when I read the first book of hers that I was reading, I felt, I almost felt intrusive. She was so
Was that
brave.
fused?
No, Fused
Fused? No.
Fused is the
Oh,
new one. Oh, darn it.
uh-huh.
It's back on my nightstand, but it's
Uh-huh.
one of her previous books. But she
Uh-huh.
talks very, very candidly about things. And I literally, I was reading it going, this is fantastic. But then I felt so intrusive. But then, it was like that, wait, you're not
Mm,
intrusive. She wrote this. She put it out there
mm.
for people to see. But it's just really amazing to see inside someone's heart. I don't know if you saw Rosemary's poem today, but it brought me to tears. And I don't usually
Right. Is
cry
that the one with Finn?
about her son. Yes, about
Yeah,
her
yeah, I
son.
did. I
And
did.
I just I was so cracked. It cracked me, It just I mean, you
The
can
vulnerability is, because the
exactly.
writing is one thing,
Exactly.
but the sharing and then the sharing as openly without any shield is just, but
Yeah,
you get out
it's a
of
very
things, what you
brave
put into
act.
them is what you go back to.
It's true. It's true. And see, I feel like I'm not quite there yet. I'm not at that place where I really want to. I'll tell people. I like to think I'm an open book, but there's just things where I'm like, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, well, I do think there's a lot of truth to that, but and that's why I really like the small group, these groups, virtual, because y- again, it's not there. When you say what you say, you're not looking to be, oh, it's okay, or the drama, or the woe is me, or the victimhood,
No,
or any of that. You're going beyond that.
exactly,
And
exactly.
that's what I really love about these spaces, is that lack of drama, and it's just a releasing of sorts in a way. It's just but to share that beyond these little groups is another practice altogether.
Right, and
So
that's where
yeah.
yeah, and that's where I feel myself a little bit. I was teetering on the precipice of that decision at the beginning of the year, and then, like I said, I had the wind sort of knocked out of me. So, but it's in my mind again. It's in my mind and my head again. So and I'm gonna there's a couple people that I tapped and reached out to at the beginning of the year to say, I'd like to work with you a little bit and find out how to do this. Get a little bit of the
Hmm.
mechanics to it, the logistics,
Hmm.
if you will,
Hmm.
because I have an idea. I basically know exactly what I want to do. One of the things I find when I write, and I don't know how this is for you, but when I'm on a lot of the play shops, the workshops, and there's an invitation, and I I'll sit for a minute and whatever comes up, I write it because I figure whatever's coming out is the truth at the moment, right?
Hmm.
And that's all I care about at the time. And I very rarely go back and edit and edit and edit. And I know that's a part of this process too, to really refine things and get some input from a trusted advisor, if you will. But I'm not there yet. So whatever I do is going to be, as you said at the beginning of this, I think just kind of unedited, unscripted,
Hmm.
just it's just going to be it is what it is kind of a thing. So that's kind of what I want to do. And if somebody says to me, you'd be good if you tighten things up here and there, maybe that would be another door opening for me to work with somebody to do that.
Yeah, or not.
Or not exactly. Well, exactly. One group that I was in that I haven't been back to. I've only been back to once, and I didn't bring a poem, but we share our poetry, not poetry, not the poetry of other poets. Um, and people will say things to me, and I'll go, nah. I'm like, "No, I don't really wanna change that."
Yeah,
I try to choose my words carefully, and then there's other times when somebody will make a suggestion and I'll go, "Ooh, that is actually very good," and I'll make the change, and I like
yeah.
that aspect of it too. I'm free to do I'm free to make the choice, and I'm free to
Yeah, that's
eh
right. It's as the poet, it's you get to choose how it's going to be.
yeah.
But and I'm hearing
Mhm.
most of the time though, most people say that they respect other people's opinions. Now, if it
Absolutely.
was their poem, maybe they would do that. But it's my poem, and I'm not going to do that. Kind of
Exa
thing.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's
Yeah,
okay. I think that's okay,
yeah.
and I'm not saying, "Oh, that's a terrible idea." I'm just saying, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I don't it doesn't feel right." Like something doesn't feel right about it, or it does. And that's
Mm-hmm,
I mean,
hmm.
I mean, a lot of the people that like I said, a lot of these people are all published are published. So I
Right,
know
right,
they know what they're talking about, but
right,
that's
right.
not my reality is just I kind of want it uncensored and unedited. And and there's times, I mean, I could show you my book. I've got my handy dandy whiteout, and I'm doing a lot of that when I'm on the workshops online.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just yeah, I just like it because it's a great going back to that community. It's just supportive. They are heartfelt people. They see the it's always easy to be amongst others who see the world as you do, in a way, who
Right, right.
feel the same things and see things in a similar way. Of course that's easier. And it's comforting to have that, because I live in an area where I don't have a lot of that, real frankly. I don't, I don't talk to my neighbors about things, current events, if you will. I just don't, because I just
It's
can't.
hard to talk to anybody about stuff like that.
It is, but you know that old saying, pick your battles, and you pick your venue. I would say also. So I
Mm-mm.
I don't I don't I don't like. There's so many brave people who are putting their opinions and their stamp on things, and they are so smart, and I mean, Stephen Colbert is one. He pops in my head because of all the stuff lately with him, getting
Mhm.
he and by the way, not worried about him one bit. He'll be fine. He'll find someplace else where he can say exactly what he's meant to say.
Yeah,
And
the world's changing, the platforms are out there now.
yeah, just like, yeah, and this is still America as far as I can tell. So he'll land on his feet. Somebody's gonna pick him up and be so happy that they did, because he is people do like him, much to unpopular belief. But there's others too. There's a lot of people I follow who are just so smart. Some of them are comedians, and they speak up, they speak their truth
Yeah,
with
yeah.
so much guts. And I'm like, oh, I just I don't want to say I just really appreciate those people and hearing those people in my life, because
Yeah, well,
I
that's
don't
where their
have.
strength lies, though, but you are doing something too,
Sure,
you're
sure.
and that's what I think a good majority of us are, I see, picking up the energy however you can. And, some people do it this way, some people do it this way. Monday, we're having guest speaker Brooke Warner on, which she writes press. So she has a publishing company. So that's at 3:30
Mhm.
Pacific and 6:30 Eastern. That you might want to listen in on that, because that's an interactive conversation there. And
Yeah,
then we're
I
also
I
having Rosemary with Christy Ashwandon discussing creative process.
from emerging form. Yeah, no, I love
Yeah,
that too. I love
yeah.
emerging form, and I love that we've got a science writer and a poet talking about creativity in the
I
process.
think it's going to be a great conversation, and
It's
those are open to the public for interactive conversation. And then after that, even is Maya Stein talking about the art of revision. So couple real good conversations coming up. And that's all in that 3:30 Pacific, 6:30 Eastern time slot. But anyway,
I gotta look and see what's going on with that. A lot. Oh, well, but along the creativity continuum. I also I know I've known this woman, a local woman, for quite a while, who's a music therapist, and something inside of me prompted me to said, "You got to get a hold of her. You got to get a hold of her. See if she can help with this post-stroke thing you're
mm,
in." And
mhm.
she's got me. She had me, she says, "Are you opposed to learning a musical instrument?" And I said, "No, not really." So she's got me learning the baritone ukulele. So it's like, are you kidding me right now? So I mean, I'm just like, the exploration goes beyond just the reading and writing poetry. It's a little of everything to just keep your mind active, to keep your brain healthy. I think that
Right.
a lot of this kind of boils down to help you with that too, not just your soul, but your mind too.
Yeah, it's your life, you know. I mean,
Mm.
it's the quality of our life. And, that is based on vibration. And so
Amen.
whatever is gonna make you vibe better is gonna, yeah. So I do have many other practices in place now. It has not always been this way by and no means, but I do now, and that's what's wonderful. But I play the sound bowls actually outside with the trees in the yard. I do
Oh.
yoga. I have a community that I get to share a lot of time with. And so I do a lot of practices, and I've had the online community since 2019. So that's been growing since then, and it's for the first 6 years. I came on every single day and read something. And 2024, it was the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo.
Ah, there you go. Well, I think, I look back, I've worked remotely for quite a while, on and off for a long time, before it was cool, right? And I think that for communities such as yours, one of the silver linings to COVID is that people who would never have touched Zoom with a 10-foot pole figured it out. They figured out that
Mhm,
that was the only way they could connect with other people. And
mhm,
so I think that in a way was a bit of a blessing out of the misery that we all went through collectively that
mhm,
year,
mhm.
to where you probably were sustaining, you did, unbeknownst to you maybe.
Well, you know what? How it all began was I was rather new at taking care of myself. I started somewhat, let's just say 50% in 2013 when I was 49, December 2013. And I turned 50 in April of 2014. I turned 50. And I got my meditation instructor certification in
Nice.
April 2014. But I didn't move my body or anything. And I was all my past 50 years did not release any emotion or trauma, and believe me, there were boatloads, some worse than others, no comparison on that. We all have trauma. But I didn't have any practices to release anything. I just kept stimulating more. I would work more. I would drink. I would do different things to avoid.
Mhm.
And eventually just my body and my mind both said they weren't, it was, forget about it. It's going to stop here. Anyway, so my mind came first. And so I got that meditation instructor thing. And then a couple years later, 2016, like about December 2016 was the end of the year again. Uh, I thought I was going to have a hip replacement. I couldn't walk without excruciating pain, and they at MRI and all that. Nothing was wrong. I just needed to release stress from my body and tension from my body. It was so tight, and I'm still. all these years later working on that. So that's when I first stepped foot in the gym was 2017. Anyway, so and I've lost 80 pounds in all of this as well.
That's fabulous. That's a
Oh my God,
lot.
I've turned my entire life around. I used to be a
That's a
stressed out
lot.
realtor and everything, but
Wow.
it really has led me to a beautiful place now. But anyway, so I knew that in finding out how to take care of myself and how to love myself is what I started doing. I found out that reading something positive per se every day is important, and we have to do things regularly in order to have an impact.
Mhm.
This practice has to be regular, whatever practice it is. It needs to be consistent.
Yeah,
So I was not good
I
at showing up
definitely,
for myself. I created
uh,
this space to come on every day and read so I'd be accountable. And that's what I started with Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie. I was reading that and I was like, "Oh my God, this is really good stuff." I'm like, I bet some other women would really like to hear this and it would keep me doing it, you know?
right.
And so that's what I did in 2019. But then yeah, 2020 COVID came. And so I just brought my the yoga studios closed down and I said, "Well, yeah, let's keep it going on here." And then it's been going ever since and it's just been growing and it's been good. And I'm not here to talk about me, but it's
Yeah, but I think that so many of us, whether you if you're married or not, if you have children or not, you're working, if you're working or working in the home, I don't care where you are. Work is work. And a lot of times, especially we know that women very often do put themselves last. I never did that to the extreme measure, I don't think, but in the last several years, there's nothing like a good therapist to just talk things through with. Nothing better. I love, I've had a couple different people that I've gone to, but one of the people that I've seen it in the last 4 years was an internal family systems and somatic therapist. And let me tell you something. She is amazing. That process is amazing. If you find a practitioner who does that, they literally
mm,
take you through your body and these things pop up and you're able to figure out like I had some things pop up. I can give one example. I just turned 64 on my birthday last week. So I was 8 years old, 8 years old or so in the late 60s, and my uncle was drafted into the Vietnam War. And I remember being I mean, that was the first time we saw that kind of stuff on TV, right? So when you see that, and I would see that, and I didn't realize what an impact that had on me, and what um, kind of a fear, a little ball of fear that was being held in my body. And it's very interesting, this concept that this trauma lives in your body, like in true somatic manner. It's taken
mhm.
up residence, and
Yeah.
it's either trying to protect you or help you in whatever way that it thinks it's helping. And the part of the process was saying, look, I'm 60 years old now and I'm okay. We're okay. And just being able to kind of comfort and accept those parts of ourselves, not trying to get rid of it. It's an amazing modality. I
Our
highly recommend it.
relationship with ourself. It's our
Yes.
relationship with ourself.
Yes. And we're complicated. Human beings are extremely complicated. And another thing that she told me, and I always used to kind of say, well, I didn't have my childhood wasn't full of trauma. It wasn't. I always consider my childhood to be a pretty good one, you know. But she
Mhm.
said, no. It doesn't have to be something, like something I would think of as something horrible somebody else went through. Of course, that's a trauma, but small things hang in there too with us.
Mhm.
Things we hear as little kids that kind of affect us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah,
It's
we don't even
really
know it. Mhm.
our brains and bodies are fascinating places to discover stuff. I can just tell you that.
Totally, totally. Well, that's
So,
why I was floored when I got into the yoga. I started first of all learning about the philosophy,
mhm,
which just really I found mesmerizing. So I got my
mhm,
first little 200 hour, and then I'm like, I want to keep learning. So I went into the advanced teaching. I'm at the highest level you could get as a therapist without going to college for it, for years. But think it's at the highest level. I don't even think that that's because it's internationally certified. But anyway, it was years in the making. But the
mhm,
subjects were just so rich and so gorgeous. Uh,
mhm.
but yeah, that's one of the things about these conversations is there's only about an hour, and there's all these bits and pieces that come in, so nobody gets the whole rounded story, you know. Um, but that's what to me this writing is more part of that overall flow, kind of to keep this vibration is very real energy body. And
Oh,
to me, it's all
yes.
part of that. It's all part of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I agree 100%, and I mean, I think that's where I've learned, and I have grown quite a bit since that, fateful day that I heard Temple. I heard somebody read Rosemary's poem Temple, and I just thought it 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 knocked me out, right? I was like, "Whoa." And, I have never looked back, and I wanna continue going down those rabbit holes and exploring how this can help me reconcile with my own life and with those around me, and all of that. I think it's an amazing process. I think wherever each of us is on our journey, is where we are. So
And I think
we
it helps us access this peace inside.
totally. Yeah.
Do you have anything you'd like to share reading wise with us?
You know what? I forgot that you had mentioned that, so I really do not have
Hey, what
anything.
about that poem that you're mentioning of Rosemary's?
Let
You
me see.
should be
I
able
can
to pull
find.
that up on her website, right?
Uh-huh.
Her website's fantastic.
Oh,
All you
she's
gotta do
just
is
she's just an amazing
type in it.
lady. Let's just
She
say it.
is.
Let's just say it out
She's my
loud.
friend too.
I know. I just
I say I
she
love her, and I'm like, I don't want her to think I'm a
I
weirdo. You know
I
what I
I
mean?
know. I know. I know. Yes, I'm not
I said I
stalking you,
love you, not in
Rosemary.
a
I'm
creepy
not
kind of way,
stalking you,
but
Rosemary. I really appreciate her being in the world. Let's just say it that way.
I
Okay,
like that they don't come across as they're better than any one of us.
no, no, that's the crazy thing. Like when you said something earlier, and I kind of made a face. When you go back and look at this, you're going to see me make a face. When you said, when you write, you don't feel like you're as good as they are, or something like that. It was something to that effect. And I was like, oh no, no.
No, not that
You
it's
know,
it's not as
yeah,
good, but they dance with their emotions better because they're more practiced at it. The more you write,
yeah,
the
yeah,
more you can, I would
yeah,
say, flirt with those emotions without
yeah.
being knocked down by
Y
them,
Yeah,
maybe.
you can be a little more vulnerable with having it down to paper. Yeah, I get it, but you'll notice that, but to the point of they don't. No, I've never. No, they're all lovely people. Like, are you kidding me right now? I just
Yeah,
can't, just the fact that they're in the world gives me hope. It really
yeah,
does.
right.
So
No, it's given me definitely hope. Exactly.
hope and a path too, a way to
Yeah,
go, a way to take my own thoughts and have something to do with them.
yeah.
That's
Well, I want to
that's
participate too.
Oh
And
yeah, well let's
I'm
you
not
are.
producing any writing yet. So I'm just doing what I know to do.
I think that's probably okay too, right? I mean, that's the beauty of this is whatever you're doing, and whatever you what in whatever way you lift up and support others by what you're doing, that's the key. That's what's helping everybody. That's going to help others. And that I think is a wonderful thing. So kudos to you for doing what you do and have fun,
Yeah,
exploring the rest.
I am having fun with it because I like to be not quite perfect, but really good too.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
one of the things I really like this is I'm just doing it
Yeah.
unedited and unscripted, which is kind of cool for
Mhm.
that. That's good practice. Tell us about this poem again and if
Well,
you would read it.
I will. It's called Temple. I found it on a different website. It's not her website, so I can't tell you when she wrote it, but it has to be at least, I'm gonna say at least 5 years old. Maybe even before that. It might be from like 2018 or 2019. But in any case, it just really struck me, and it really, like I said, it was the catalyst for me to start reading, listening to, and writing again. Um, so it really has kind of a special place in my heart. I have, if we have time, I have another good story for you too, but let me read this for you guys. Temple by Rosemary Watola Tromer. O body, cracked bell that still sings when struck. O leaky cup, O broken stem, I love you, body. Your crooked path, your crumbling walls, your faulty math. I love the way you stopped believing you could ever hold it all. How you began to let yourself become the one that's being held. I love the graffiti on your inner halls, scrawled names of all who shaped you. Oh, body, my wreck, my holy glove, my street worn soul, my crumpled page. Forgive me for years of trying to fix you, for believing the fable of whole you, my perfect wounded heart, my stuttered hymn, my sacred begging bowl.
Mm.
For that one, for me, that one just was like we're so hard on ourselves. And for women, it's from when you're a preteen, and it's almost younger now that young girls are just so hard on themselves and so hard on
Mm.
what their body looks like and how their body is. And I just thought it was amazing, just this feeling of just the whole thing. It's just gorgeous. It's it changed my life to hear that poem. Do you see what I mean?
He
It
is a beautiful
changed
writer, yes.
it changed my life.
Yeah,
I got a little teary-eyed again
right.
because I just
No,
realized how
her
much it means to
poetry's
me.
impactful. It's very impactful.
It
Uh,
is. It is.
I'm gonna read one that I kind of favor a little bit here. It's
Okay.
titled Because, and she wrote it on Rosemary Watola Trummer wrote it on May 30th, 2022 already. I didn't think it was this long ago. Because, so I can't save the world, can't save even myself, can't wrap my arms around every frightened child, can't foster peace among nations, can't bring love to all who feel unlovable. So I practice opening my heart right here in this room and being gentle with my insufficiency. I practice walking down the street heart first. And if it is insufficient to share love, I will practice loving anyway. I want to converse about truth, about trust. I want to invite compassion into every interaction. One willing heart can't stop a war. One willing heart can't feed all the hungry. And sometimes, daunted by a task too big, I tell myself, what's the use of trying? But today, the invitation is clear to be ridiculously courageous in love, to open the heart like a lilac in May, knowing freeze is possible and opening anyway, to take love seriously, to give love wildly, to race up to the world as if I were a puppy, adoring and unjaded, stumbling on my own exuberance, to feel the shock of indifference, of anger, of cruelty, of fear, and stay open, to love as if it matters, as if the world depends on it. She's powerful. She got some stuff to say.
Doesn't she?
And I'm just so happy that I'm smart enough to recognize it.
I know, that's the other thing too. And I looked on her site and Temple was also from 2022. It's a little later than I thought. For some reason, I thought it
Mm.
was earlier, but it's from January 13th. Um, yeah, I mean, it is very impactful, and that's what a poet can do for us is just is like really
Right.
impact us, make us think, make us feel, make us change maybe. I mean, and I don't mean anything dramatic. I mean, just like if you open up more, it changes you, you know. And if she, I love a lot of her messaging, but that's some of her messaging to just let yourself crack open and feel it. And
Yes, it is. It is. It is. And sometimes you got to do that cracking a little bit slower.
oh, I know, sometimes it's
Sometimes you got to
hard.
go slow. But I've always thought, but if I know darn well that if it's possible for me to change, it's possible for most people too. That's why I just say just consistency, because it's nothing I'm doing but showing up.
Yeah,
The only thing I'm doing is showing up for myself, and it's making a change. It's like that stone with the one drop of water. It's a small little drip of water, but it puts a hole in the stone.
it does. And you mentioned vibration, and it raises our vibrations. It raises our vibrations, and hopefully that concept that when our vibrations raise, it helps raise the collective consciousness a little bit.
I'm
If
banking
that's
on
all,
it.
I'm fingers crossed.
I'm
Um,
banking on it. I really am.
yeah. I
Yeah.
yeah, one other poem, and I can't actually find the poem that I'm thinking of that I also love. But oh yes, I did find it. It's called The Question. It's from December 23rd, 2019.
Oh,
And
right,
there
right,
and there's
right.
a line in there where she says, "Is this the path of love?"
Right. I know that one too. Let's see. Because
My
she's
dear,
got,
my friend,
yeah.
I have a tattoo on my leg. It's got a picture of a path going through some flowers and up to the bright sun, and those words are on my leg. Is this the path of love? It's there as a reminder that that's one of the biggest lessons, that we have to examine things in that light. Because if you stay with me for this, but if love is truth, then and we're looking for truth, then they go together hand in hand, I think.
I think they do. Well, love is the answer, and that is truth. Yes. uh,
Speaking of the summer of love,
yeah.
I
Right.
see what you
That's
did
one of the
there.
reasons. That's one of the reasons that, well, I'm not sure what I did there. I'm the last one usually to know. I just am guided by intuition.
I
Really.
thought when I saw the first
I'm not that
email, you,
creative or clever.
oh, I think you might be. I
I
think you
just
might
follow
be.
intuition. But dad nabbit, dad done lost my little
Lost your
thought
train of
there.
thought. Sorry about that.
Uh son of a gun, it was clever. I can't recall what it was, but let's just say it was good. I don't recall what it was, but that's okay. Doesn't even matter. Um, that's one of the things I really like about these videos is they show us in our human form, and there's no, oh, I know what it was. What I really love about the community, and see, this is why this is important because I want to be people to know that it's accessible to all of us, and you don't have to be perfect polished. You can just show up for yourself in whatever way you are if you're called to it. Nobody's forcing anybody, right? But I know that I love this community so much, and one I'm realizing why is, it's not a place where people are going to say, "Oh, you're too much," or "Oh, you're being too nice," or not even ulterior motives, because I'm doing something. So many times in my life is about, "Oh, she's a brown nose," or something like that. And it's like, no, gosh darn it, at 61, I'm just deciding this is how I want to be, right? And the community doesn't think that there's ulterior motives, there's no comparison. It's just such a beautiful space that you're allowed to be human. I don't know. I know we did talk a heck of a lot about community today, and that wasn't necessarily the point, but I suppose that it's that important to both of us.
It is, and I think that people need that now, and I think that, you know, it's great to be with people together, but it's also okay if it's online, and it's just as powerful, it's just as uplifting, and it's just as nurturing. So that would be something that would probably be the last thing I would say about that. And just like you said, you follow your intuition. Just follow your intuition, say what's true, do it for yourself, and do what you want with it, and explore yourself. Explore who you are through any of this, any and all of it, some of it, something else. See
Mhm.
if you want to start playing a ukulele too. All of these things are feeding ourselves. And you mentioned taking care of ourselves, and I'm sorry, but that's going to be number one for me for a while too.
Needs to be. But if we all do that, then we'll all shine as bright as we can. And I think that's
Yes,
what we're
ma'am.
supposed to do.
You may be onto something there.
Well, I think we all knew that and got talked out of it, right? Didn't we all know that when we were
Yeah.
younger?
Oh yeah.
Uh, yeah. Well, awesome that I love this conversation. I really don't want to stop. I don't want to hold you up. But I just thank you so much for sharing everything that you shared and talking vulnerably about some things there, and making me understand as well how important the community is here. And yeah, and thanks for accepting me in it.
Well, ditto. Same to
Yeah.
you. Yeah, no, I really appreciate this. I do love all of this, and it really has made a difference in my life. So, I mean, I could talk about it all day probably, or keep
Hmm.
looking up poems that have made a difference to me in my life, and talking about different poets that I've been exposed to over the last few years who are just wonderful. So, it's not a
Cool.
bad place to be, people. It's not a bad place to
Oh,
be.
to me, it's necessary right now. I mean, you got to kind of do something. Do you have a Substack or something you want people to connect on, or not quite yet?
Not quite yet. That's what I was alluding to earlier, that I wanna I mean, it feels like that's a good platform for sharing and starting out that journey of that next step,
Hmm.
of not just writing your stuff, but actually putting it out there for people to respond to.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
I'm getting there.
Yeah,
I'm
one
getting
step
there.
at a time. That's all we have to do.
Totally, totally.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all you
Yeah.
do for us, all of us too.
Yeah, you too. Well, we're all just walking each other home is seriously what I keep coming back to. Um, but thanks so much for sharing. Thanks so much for all your love and support. And thank you everyone for stopping by and listening. See you next time. Namaste.